For this video, I'm going to talk about the Steyr AUG A3 M1. Yes, it's another bullpup video, specifically with this rifle. Matter of fact, I'm seeing one of my biggest issues that I brought up in that last video, and it's my hand placement. Again, if you're not familiar with these, this is how you burn your hands. This is how you burn your hands real good, and you don't want to be in contact with these hot surfaces. Old habits die hard, I guess. But speaking of Die Hard, this is mostly known from entertainment, movies like Die Hard, TV, entertainment, video games. This was a variant of this was a recent, unlock on Battlefield 6. Ask me how I know, because I have it unlocked on Battlefield 6. But this is a different animal compared to your typical AKs, your typical ARs. There's some similarities, there's some differences. There's some cool aspects of this, and there's some strange things that I'm not a big fan of, but they can be tweaked. So because I've been focusing, again, I'm burning my hands, focusing on the front end, let's talk about removing the barrel, because that actually is one of the cool aspects of this, how easy it is to change the barrel on these. So this is chambered in 5.56. If I wanted to change this to a 300 blackout, swap out the barrel. Pretty cool. Might need to do something to gas. I don't think so. I'm not sure. But I do know changing the barrel, you can change it to a 300 blackout, and it's not a problem. If you want a longer barrel, same procedure. So basically with this is a charging handle right here. Step one is you just need to pull it back about 1/2 inch until it locks back right there. And essentially what happened, and I'll show you, you have this little nub that's part of the charging handle mechanism. Once this little nub is down away from this plate, that basically frees up this plate to be able to rotate. Next step is you have this button here. All you do is move this button to the rear, and then you rotate the hand, or what do you call this? This is called a vertical grip. Once that barrel rotates, you can just pull it straight out, and now you have two separate components. So again, if you have a longer barrel, you drop it in, and basically you do everything in reverse, roughly. Barrel goes straight down, downward pressure, rotate back into place, locked. Now we're good to go. It's shootable now. I think that's kind of cool. One of the goofy things that I'm not a fan of with this rifle is the geometry of the safety, and the safety is right here. That has incredibly sharp edges. I don't know why the edges are so sharp, but they are. The way I shoot is I keep my hand as high as possible on the gun, and I tend to, yeah, that's just poking me. Not a fan. When I switch it to fire, that square little piece is now on the other side. Also with a sharp edge. Not a fan. So I have two choices with this. I can file it down, which would be a simple solution, and I'd file on both sides, or I can just be a man and take it. Probably just going to file it down, because filing it down isn't going to change anything with its function. Yeah. Let's talk about the charging handle. So this has something that's somewhat reminiscent of H&K guns. So what you can do is you can lock the bolt to the rear. Can't do that with most AKs unless you have an aftermarket part. But essentially there's this little notch right here in the channel that allows you to pull the charging handle back and then rotate it upwards, and then it is basically held into place. So there you go. So you can take a full mag. So this is a completely empty gun. Take a full mag and do your slap, and you just loaded the gun. Pretty cool. So if you like slapping things, this might be a rifle for you. What else do we have here? We have also a magazine release. So I have a empty 20 round PMag. That's one of the unique aspects of this, is obviously you're loading under your arm. You're loading into your armpit, which is kind of weird. There are two magazine releases. You have one right here, and then you have this right here, which is completely ambidextrous. So pressing the button here releases the mag, nothing to it. Easy day. That is not ambidextrous. This, however, is the ambidextrous part. Button right there, press, release, done. Let's do it as a lefty. Obviously, I need also be changing shoulders. Hey, it's like magic. Okay, so another thing with the charging handle, how to let the bolt go on an empty chamber. Empty magazine. We just fired our last round. The bolt is now locked to the rear. It's not in that upward position. It's just locked to the rear because of the empty mag. So we're going to take out the mag. Full mag. See, I almost put it up here. I blame ARs for that. So we have a completely loaded magazine with an empty chamber with the bolt. The bolt is open, and there's your top round right up there. Weapon's still on safe, also for you safety people. I'm also trying not to hit my mic. So loaded mag, empty chamber. Chamber is locked open. Charging handle is to the rear. All you do to release is pull back slightly, let it ride. It is now fully loaded. Pretty cool. So that is a Steyr AUG. If you haven't had hands-on with one of these, it's worth your time. It's worth at least looking into and trying out. And unfortunately, though, I'm not the best judge of what a good gun is because I like all guns, and I like this. But I also like ARs. I like AKs. I like shotguns. I like bolt guns. I like lever guns. I like revolvers, semi-auto pistols, you name it. So yeah, I just like guns. And this is really a cool gun. That's all. If you like this stuff, you need to go to patreon.com/primary and secondary, and from there you can help support the network. I have all these resources available for your use. I am on YouTube let's see here, so Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook with 736 different groups. Where else? We also have a website with a forum because I know for a fact all these social media platforms are going to be kicking me out any day now. And I just have this forum at primaryandSecondary.com/forum, and that's "and" spelled all the way out. That's basically my backup, so I can maintain some of my networks, because through this whole primary and secondary thing, I have met some wonderful people, and I have a wonderful network of great people. If you decide that you want to help support on Patreon, there is a whole Discord server full of hundreds of people that all want to help you, because they're just a really helpful, good group of people. And also it's broken down like a traditional forum where you have all these categories of topics. So yeah, great network, great stuff. Love sharing this kind of information. And this was just a short little video talking about some things you might not be familiar with. If it was beneficial, make sure you're hitting like. If it helped you understand something better and you want to share, obviously you have to share it. My favorite thing to say with every one of my podcasts, and yes, I do have a podcast, and it's on all of your favorite podcast apps, primary and secondary. Make sure you support those sources that you found to be beneficial. So if this was beneficial, make sure you're sharing it. Make sure you're liking, and be sure to subscribe. That is all. We will talk to you later.